for a look at playback options in Sibelius. Sibelius 7 Sounds is a high-quality sample library combining exclusive, specially recorded instruments with some carefully selected sounds from industry experts. The result is a versatile collection of sounds well suited for many genres of music. Sibelius 7 Sounds includes the Avid Orchestra for orchestral sounds, recorded especially for Sibelius 7 and containing many detailed orchestral instruments with applicable articulations. Sibelius 7 Sounds also features a broad set of sounds suitable for jazz, rock, pop and world music. There is also a high-quality pipe organ with more than 20 stops and marching brass and percussion sounds from fanfare and rumble by Sample Logic. Once installed, which is optional during the Sibelius install process, Sibelius 7 Sounds is very easy. You simply create the instrument definitions you need, and as long as your playback configuration is set to Sibelius 7 Sounds via Play tab, Setup and Configuration, the instrument sample mapping and output channel is all handled for you in the background. It can handle up to 128 channels per score. Changing techniques and articulations is generally as easy as adding technique text or articulation marks to notes and staves in your score. There are some variations on the playback configurations available for Sibelius 7 Sounds too, which favour instruments of particular genres as their names suggest. Sibelius offers a virtual mixer window for finite customization of your sound levels. And there are a number of other controls for certain instruments that you can use to further customize their sound as well. Sibelius 7 Sounds is a very large sample library, so it occupies a lot of hard disk space, over 35 GB, and requires a reasonably powerful computer running 64-bit Windows or Mac OS X with a lot of RAM, ideally at least 4 GB with 8 GB preferred. In addition to Sibelius 7 Sounds, or instead of it, you have the option of using third-party sound libraries in Sibelius 7.5 too, as Sibelius is VST and AU plugin compatible. There are a number of sample libraries available that use Contact Player and ARIA, namely Garritan Personal Orchestra, Jazz and Big Band, and Concert and Marching Band, which can be used directly within Sibelius. These particular libraries have the advantage that Sibelius is able to directly load the sounds required to playback your score automatically, provided a sound set is available. Other third-party sound libraries have varying degrees of integrated functionality. It's generally easiest if you work with sample libraries that provide a Sibelius sound set file, and in some cases playback configuration files and VST preset files too, to help with automating instrument channel mapping at least. Some libraries that don't provide a Sibelius sound set from the manufacturer do however have a third-party sound set available for purchase via the website known as the Sibelius Soundset Project, found at www.soundsetproject.com. I'll give you a short demonstration of using Garritan Personal Orchestra with its integrated ARIA player as an alternate playback option to Sibelius 7 Sounds now. Assuming I have Garritan Personal Orchestra installed, I simply choose Play tab and look at the Setup group and launch playback devices from here. And let's pretend I don't have a configuration yet. I click New to make a new playback config. So I now give the playback configuration a name, such as GPO, and click OK. And I'll deactivate the active device on the right to remove it from the list. Now I activate the appropriate player for Garatan Personal Orchestra from the left-hand available devices list and make sure the correct sound set is chosen. Correct sound set is fine. As Garatan Personal Orchestra is a library with a sound set built into and tested with Sibelius, and because the ARIA player supports automated sample loading via sound set control in Sibelius 2, it's as easy as that. Now any instruments I create will find the closest match for that instrument in Garatan Personal Orchestra instead of the Sibelius 7 Sounds library. Other more detailed and larger libraries like Vienna Ensemble and East-West Symphonic Orchestra, whose interfaces are pictured on this slide, may give more realistic playback than the options previously covered, but they are more complicated to set up by default, so do be aware that there is a learning curve associated with using them if you'd like to try them out. To finish on the subject of playback, we'll look at using Sibelius as a ReWire slave. ReWire is a so-called virtual audio cable that allows you to route the audio from Sibelius playback into a digital audio workstation such as Avid's Pro Tools. It also provides you with a means to synchronize Sibelius's playback with your digital audio workstation's playback. This opens up possibilities for using Sibelius together with other audio software. For example, you can add an acoustic solo instrument line to your score's playback by routing the audio from Sibelius to your DAW and recording the audio into the DAW software. Alternatively, you can augment a project started in your DAW with material written in Sibelius, the project in each application automatically staying in sync with the other. Basic process of setting up a ReWire connection between Sibelius and another application is to run the mixer application first. So I'll need to quit out of Sibelius first in this case and open up Pro Tools. Now we have a session open in Pro Tools. So to launch Sibelius as a ReWire slave, you need to add a stereo audio or auxiliary channel, then load Sibelius as a multi-channel ReWire instrument in Pro Tools. So I'll add a new track in Pro Tools, choose the appropriate track type, let's call it Sibelius, and I'll show the inserts in the mixer so we can choose our ReWire plugin for that particular track we've just created. Sibelius automatically installs the necessary ReWire files for this, so assuming the installation has all gone successfully, you should just see it there as an option in your ReWire capable digital audio workstation software. So Pro Tools now automatically launches Sibelius. And I'll load the score that I've got matched to this Pro Tools session. And if we push Sibelius over to the left, and I'll make sure I set the audio output for the new Sibelius channel in Pro Tools. Close the mixer. Start from the beginning of the score and watch them sync in playback. So when you start playback in Sibelius or your DAW, both applications will play back. In Sibelius, if I show the transport, you'll see as I move the transport line around in Sibelius, the playback line moves in Pro Tools as well.